Hello friends, it's Scott from Plot River Keto. If you're new to my channel, welcome. On my channel, you get to come along for the ride on my keto journey. It's Saturday, which means it's an update day. Actually getting consistent enough on that we can call that the thing we usually do on Saturdays. I think we're 3 or 4 weeks in a row here, so we're finally making some progress on the channel. Hopefully we're making some progress on our keto journey too. I'm going to talk with you guys a little bit about that today. Talk with you about what my goals were for this week, how that went, and a little success that I wanted to share with you about this week as well. So first, I wanted to talk about what my goals were for this week. And the biggest thing that I was focusing on this week, just like last week, was consistency over intensity. Now this week, my focus was on consistency in my nutrition, while continuing to keep the consistency with my movement or my exercise. And first, I'll tell you that the consistency with my movement exercise continued. Had a little blip in the middle of the week that was mostly related to just not feeling well. Had a bad headache on Tuesday morning. And so slept in, didn't even get into the office until about noon on Tuesday. Had to take some headache medicine and just basically kind of slept it off, got into the office about noon. And so skipped the workout, kind of everything on Tuesday. But by Wednesday, still wasn't getting up in the morning, but we got a lunchtime walk in and got a DDPY yoga workout in lunchtime on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, we were back to the morning, which is where I really like to do things as far as my movement goes. So we did that on Friday morning, and then this morning things were able to have another successful walk this morning. Didn't end up getting the yoga workout in. That was partially related to the plan for today, for the morning actually, was to go get the walk in with the dogs. And I like to try to do what I call a free range walk on Saturdays, which is where I go out to, my parents have 11 acres and let the dogs off the leash. They go run their 10 miles while I walk my 2 miles. And mostly because I have the time to do that. I don't have the time to do that during my work week, but I do have that time on Saturday. So get the walk done. The plan was then to mow the lawn and then go ahead and get a DDPY workout in. Well, I went to mow the lawn and the pull cord for the lawnmower broke. And this was kind of the last straw with the lawnmower. I want to say about a year ago, the self-propelled wire broke, and I was like, fine, I'll just push the blower, and I did. And then I was having a problem with the throttle. The spring that worked with the throttle had kind of bent, and so I had to bend it back into place to kind of force it to stay throttled up. And then the pull cord broke, and I got to go watch a YouTube video on how to tie a knot that will actually tie 2 pieces of rope together so that it would stay. But then the problem was that the pull cord was no longer retracting when I tried to pull. And so that was a real problem for me. And unfortunately, I just decided that I was going to give up, I guess, on my mower. It's been a few years I've had it. It's been a good mower, but I spent most of the day shopping for a lawnmower, and I ended up buying a new lawnmower and a new trimmer, which is awesome. I was able to get the lawn mowed, but that took most of the middle of the day. And so the DDPY workout did not happen. Now, having said that, if I go look right now, I am at 14,861 steps for today. So definitely got my steps in. As a matter of fact, I am not quite back to, certainly not back to where I used to be. As you guys know, when I was much more consistent with my exercise and nutrition for that matter. And so I am feeling the 14,000 plus steps today. We were doing some things at the end of the day, doing some shopping for Mother's Day and that sort of thing. And I was kind of spent. And so overall, though, movement's been really good. Exercise has been good. It's been consistent. And despite feeling like I would like to go lay down at this point today, had a good and successful day, even though things didn't quite go according to plan. Now, what I really wanted to talk to you guys about was that my focus for this week was on nutritional consistency. Again, not intensity so much, but consistency with my keto. And I was very successful every day, really, except for Tuesday. And Tuesday, I had the headache. I had a couple of things that were off plan for me. The good news was, because my focus really was on consistency, and I've shared that with some close friends, had a couple of them say, hey, focus on that consistency. And what could have been maybe going off the rails for several days was just a couple of poor choices on Tuesday, and I got back on consistent keto, which has really been great, to be honest. And I'm really happy with it. The thing I'm probably most happy with is that I have been eating my meals and not snacking and not really eating after I have dinner. That, for me, has been a really big key to my success in the past, because most of my poor food choices happen between dinner time and bedtime. So that has been really good. Honestly, this week, I am going to, I know, third week in a row, but we're going to continue to focus on consistency over intensity. I'm going to go for all 7 days rather than 6 out of 7 days with the consistency of the keto, continuing to be consistent with my movement. Again, not so much focusing on intensity, but on focusing on getting out the door. I actually talked about that this week with my boss. We had a chance to talk. We had about 3 hours in the car, actually. We had a work firm-wide meeting on Friday, and I rode with him, and so we had a chance to just kind of talk about things, and one of the things that he and I both talked about as it relates to a lot of things, but as it relates to exercise, is if you could just get yourself out the door. I tend to be consistent with my exercise, and I tend to maybe not have the world's most intense workout, but if I can get out the door, I can go get a couple miles in. It's just getting out the door, and that's really the hardest thing for me, I guess, is getting out the door. So focusing this week on consistency with the movement, and then consistency again with my keto, and focusing on eating my meals, just eating my meals, not snacking, and in particular not eating after, not eating after I have my dinner. So yeah, but we're going to keep with that consistent theme, consistency in nutrition, consistency in movement. The only other thing I wanted to share with you guys this week is I did have that work meeting on Friday, and I wanted to share some success that I had. And that was, I knew that for the work meeting that my options were going to be a little bit limited as far as food went, particularly for lunch. Now, they gave us an option, I think, of like a ham and brie. There was like a turkey club, and then the other option was a Caesar wrap. And I ended up going with the Caesar wrap, which I think was probably the best choice as far as getting me some protein. And what it was I just opened up the wrap, and there was lettuce and Parmesan cheese and Caesar dressing and chicken. There were some croutons that I picked out. So basically I just opened up the wrap and ate it like it was a salad. And it was pretty good. Unfortunately, the rest of the things that came in the box lunch were an apple, which I didn't eat, chips that I didn't eat, and cookies that I didn't eat. But I had thought ahead, and so one of the things, I brought along a keto brick. I had a little tiny bit of that, but actually, after I'd eaten the chicken, and I brought some venison sticks, some venison jerky sticks from the deer that I got last year, I think. But anyway, I brought venison sticks along. I had a couple venison sticks and had that chicken and that salad. And I'm really glad that I brought those, because the temptation to enjoy the cookies or the chips or the apple really just wasn't there, because I brought food along, thought ahead, realized that there may not be amazing choices available for me, particularly at the lunch, and there really weren't. And so I made do. I enjoyed what I could out of the meal, and then I also had some things that I brought along. Now, the great news was, for dinner, we had, there were a bunch of hamburgers, and there was, so I could do a hamburger with no bun and some cheese, and I actually had a couple of hamburgers. They were really good. I did eat the toppings off of one slice of like a meat lover's pizza, and then I had zero sugar soda at the work event. That was after our meeting. So we had a meeting, and then we had kind of a get-together at a driving range, and that was pretty fun. But I was really proud of myself for thinking ahead and planning ahead. You guys know I've really kind of only been back to really doing the keto thing for a couple of weeks. And I even thought, as I was going to the lunch, like, am I going to do this? I haven't been back doing this very long. Maybe I can just have an off-plan day. And I'm really glad that I didn't. I'm really glad that I planned ahead and brought a few things for me that would help me to be successful. And I don't know about you guys, but I find that really important for me. If I plan ahead, if I make a contingency for what could happen at a meal, I'm a lot more successul than getting there and realizing that I can eat like a fourth of what the lunch was, for example. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. I've certainly planned things before, but I found that successful for me. What do you do? How do you stay successful when you're in a situation that you don't have a lot of control of? Drop that into the comments if you think about it. But I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. I've had a really good week. I'm really happy with my progress. Oh, I almost forgot. Forgot to share with you guys. I know what I said that I wasn't sure that I was going to share my weight loss every week, but I will go ahead and share it with you guys. As not a big surprise, I tend to have a pretty significant drop as I start things. I was down 7.6 pounds this week. So I was at 422.5 last week, and I'm at 414.9. So down 7.6 pounds. Really excited about that. Making some good progress. Feeling a little bit better. Again, hope you guys had a fantastic week. Thank you for being along, being part of my journey. Day by day, keep calling keto on, my friends. We'll talk to you again soon.